Here is an example of a Mexican cartel using a different social media app to try and hire American citizens to participate in human smuggling. So this is the kind of thing that's going on Snap, on Instagram, on TikTok, where these cartels are recruiting American citizens to come be smugglers, offering them pay, giving them instructions, and once again, they are using these social media apps, these big tech platforms to do it.
Thank you, Senator Hassan. Senator Hawley, you're recognized for your questions.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. Thanks to the witnesses for being here, and thanks to the chairman for holding a hearing on this topic. Mr. Miller, if I could start with you. You are General Counsel at the Information Technology Industry Council. Do I have that right?
Correct.
And I was just looking before I came over here this morning at your membership list. It's quite a lengthy list of members. You have, looks like to me, members, your members compose almost all of the major players in the tech industry. I mean, is that fair to say?
Yes, we have 80 of large global tech companies.
Yeah, global is the right word. Google, Apple, Meta, Microsoft, Amazon. Those are just a few. These are the biggest, most powerful corporations in the world who are your members. Yes?
Sure, by market cap, absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, by historical standards, I mean, these are the most powerful companies, not just now, but arguably in the history of the world. And that list that I just read off there, all of those folks have stake in AI technology, and stand to make billions of dollars, I think it is safe to say, off of AI. I mean, wouldn't you say that's accurate?
I really don't know how much money any of our members are making or not making from AI or any other technology.
Oh, wouldn't you say it starts with a B, though? I mean, we're talking about billions. AI is going to be transformative technology. You've just been saying this. Let me quote you. This is from January 4th. AI continues to dominate policy conversations around the world. As AI-generated content grows in its sophistication and adoption, there's a new sense of urgency to leverage this transformative technology, right? Now, here's the next part that interests me. You say that you want to think about minimizing harms that could come from its use, including the spread of misinformation and disinformation. What did you mean by that?
I'm not entirely sure what you're quoting from, but it might have been a press release for our ITI's release.
January 4th, ITI's new guide outlines AI content authentication tools and policy approaches.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, in that context, that guide looks at watermarking and other techniques to authenticate AI content. And, you know, certainly misinformation and disinformation has been cited as an issue that could be amplified by artificial intelligence.
What do you mean by misinformation, disinformation? What do you have in mind?
I mean, misinformation, I'm glad you're asking that because it's important to distinguish between the two. I think misinformation is kind of accidentally incorrect information, whereas disinformation is information that is you know, specifically incorrect or actually, you know, maliciously intended to be false, to, you know, and harmful.
I have to tell you, it sounds like some gobbledygook to me, but let me tell you what I think would be useful is if maybe you would get your technology companies to focus on their chatbot stopping encouraging people to kill themselves. Like this, for instance. This is from April 4th of last year. This is a chatbot that encouraged a user to commit suicide. And tragically, he did. This is his widow, who reports that her husband had a conversation with this chatbot, and it asked him, if you wanted to die, why didn't you do it sooner? And went on to give him instructions on how to kill himself. Or we also had recently the infamous case of the chatbot urging a reporter, of course, sadly for the chatbot, it didn't know it was a reporter, to break up his marriage. This is from February of last year. Bing's AI chatbot. You're married, but you're not happy. You're married, but you're not satisfied. You're married, but you're not in love. And the chatbot goes on to encourage this individual to get a divorce. Do we really want chatbots telling people to kill themselves? I mean, is that really, is there social good in that I'm missing somewhere?
I certainly don't think we want chatbots doing those sorts of things. I mean, but artificial intelligence can do a lot of good things as well. So I do think that we want to be, focused in addressing, issues and while also allowing artificial intelligence to, do things like help, cure cancer and things like that.
Well, AI is going to cure cancer?
It certainly could be a tool to help with various different cures in the medical field.
So
Absolutely.
are you saying that we have to accept AI chatbots encouraging people to kill themselves for the possibility that maybe it'll cure cancer?
I'm not saying that at all, but it doesn't.
good.
But I do think that we don't
Do
want
we
to.
want, do we want AI chatbots that encourage people to commit suicide? Do we want them being able to talk to teenagers? Why should an AI chatbot be able to talk to a 13 or 14-year-old? Why is that a good idea?
Again, there are many good, positive things that can come from AI.
Well, do you want AI encouraging a teenager? What if this had been a teenager who the AI chatbot was encouraging to kill himself? Let me ask you this. Let me make it more practical. Shouldn't a parent who has a kid that has an encounter with a chatbot like this, shouldn't that parent be able to sue the AI company and hold them accountable in court?
I mean, under the current law, that's probably not allowable.
Why exactly? And why should that be the case? Why should the biggest, most powerful technology companies in the history of the world, why should they be insulated from accountability when their technology is encouraging people to ruin their relationships, break up their marriages, and commit suicide?
I assume that you're alluding to Section 230.
Sure am.
Yeah, I mean, Section 230 has a long history of, helping to encourage technological development. It's protected by, the Supreme Court, including a recent Supreme Court case.
Oh yeah, and believe me, I've read your amicus brief in that case. I've got it right here where you argue for the most robust interpretation of Section 230 possibly imaginable. What 230 has absolutely for sure done is help the companies who are your members pad their profits. I mean, it is a massive subsidy of the federal government to your companies. But let's just make this very practical. Why shouldn't these companies, Google and Meta and Microsoft and the rest, why shouldn't they say, you know what, we are absolutely willing to allow a parent whose child is harmed by our technology, we are absolutely willing to allow that parent to have their day in court. Is that too much to ask?
Again, I have not discussed that particular question with the companies. I'm happy to have that discussion.
Well, I'm asking for your opinion. I'm asking for your opinion. Do you think that a parent ought to be able to get into court and have their day in court if their child is told by a chatbot how to kill themselves?
I don't really have an opinion on that.
Sure you do. You just signed an amicus brief that argued for the most robust interpretation of Section 230, which is just translation, the most robust protections for the most powerful, profitable corporations in the history of the world. You just signed it. So clearly you have a lot of thoughts on Section 230. Let me distill this even further. I'm almost done, Mr. Chairman. Senator Blumenthal and I, who you were just talking to a second ago, he and I have a bipartisan bill that would say that parents and others who are harmed by AI should be able to get into court and have their day in court against your members. Just like any American can do with any other company, right? I mean, if Johnson & Johnson sells a drug that poisons people, like it did, by the way, with their baby powder once upon a time, parents can go to court. With your companies, as you just said, they can't. They can't. So would you support our bill? Our bill is a carve-out for people who've been harmed by AI technology to be able to go to court. Would you support that?
I haven't had a chance to review the bill. What I would say is that there are also other equities at play in this discussion, including the First Amendment. I mean,
No,
companies do have a First
are you
Amendment
telling me this
right.
is First Amendment protected? This is First Amendment protected speech? A chatbot saying you should kill yourself? Is that your position?
It's not my position, but I don't
Okay.
think the question's been resolved.
What do you mean the question's been resolved? All right, Mr. Chairman, I thank you for your time. Mr. Miller, all I can say is that I think your position is just absolutely extraordinary. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Senator Hawley.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Thanks to the witnesses for being here. Thanks for the excellent work that you're doing. Fentanyl has been a major topic of discussion today, rightfully so. Fentanyl accounts for 70% of the drug overdose deaths in the United States. It's the leading cause of death, fentanyl is, in my state, the state of Missouri, for individuals over the age of 18. And we don't produce it in Missouri. It comes to us from across the border. It comes by the truckload, it seems, these days. Every community in the state, every school in the state is awash in fentanyl. And what I'm particularly concerned about are the latest efforts of cartels to send rainbow fentanyl into our borders, across our borders. I'm sure, Mr. Perez, you're familiar with this, the phenomenon of rainbow fentanyl, which is made to look like a candy. In fact, obviously, it's an extremely deadly drug.
Yes, sir. Generally familiar with it.
Is it safe to say that the Mexican cartels are using rainbow fentanyl as a deliberate attempt to drive addiction among young people, among kids and young adults?
Yes, sir. I would say they're using fentanyl in general, regardless of who they're trying to addict. Yes, sir.
So here's the next thing that concerns me is that we've got the effort by the cartels to use rainbow fentanyl. We've got the effort by the cartels to target kids, and they're doing it more than they're selling it in ways other than just the classic back alley deal. They're using now social media apps in order to sell fentanyl. Let's take a look here at one example. This is from the big tech platform Snapchat. Snapchat's one of the worst offenders here. The Snapchat's platform, as you may know, features disappearing messages, anonymity. It also has real-time mapping features that make it easy for drug traffickers to access clients and especially young people. Snaps are often accompanied by code words and emojis that are designed to evade detection by law enforcement. In February of this year, a mother, Bridget Noring, sat where the three of you are sitting and testified. She lost her child, by the way, her 19-year-old kid, lost him to a fentanyl overdose after he got fentanyl through a Snap message. And she testified, sitting where you're sitting, that she went to Snapchat. She alerted them to the kind of snaps that they have got that are posted on their platform. And she testified, here, this is the quote now, the first three things out of their mouth, meaning the Snap CEOs, were, number one, we have no idea this is happening on our platform. Number two, as parents, you should have been monitoring your child better. Charming. Number three, you can't sue us because we're protected under Section 230. Now, my question to the three of you is, wouldn't it be a big help to your efforts and to our efforts as a country to stop the flow of fentanyl and other illegal drugs into this nation and from flowing into the hands of our kids if we shut down these platforms from selling and offering drugs and being a major platform for drug traffickers? Mr. Perez?
Yes, sir. I would go back to about accountability from any institution that's facilitating this. I know our efforts through the J Code, which I mentioned earlier, focusing on darknet and opennet type of trafficking, that's significant. We spend a lot of efforts on those types of cases.
Yeah, very good. I'm glad you used the word accountability. I think that's exactly what we need. And right now, I just want to point this out so everybody understands it. Right now, Snapchat and every other big tech platform have exactly zero accountability. Zilch. This is on their platform. It is there constantly. It is there in volume, and there is currently nothing any parent, any victim can do about it. I mean, just refer back to what this mother said, the Snap CEO said to her, it's your fault. We don't really have any idea about it. This is after she told them it was on their platform. And by the way, they know. I mean, if these guys can direct the most precision advertising to you using their AI algorithms, you think they don't know that there's this kind of advertising all over their platform? They know. And then they said, the get out of jail free card, you can't sue us because we're protected under Section 230. I've said this time and time again. It is time for this Congress to take action to allow victims to hold accountable these companies when they put this kind of garbage, this sort of illegal activity on their platform. Victims ought to be able to sue Snapchat and any other big tech platform that traffics in this kind of illegal activity. And until Congress changes the law to allow victims and parents to sue, I think that this is just going to continue to go on. Let me give you one more example. Mr. Stevens, I'll direct this to you since I know that you're in the El Paso division. Here is an example of a Mexican cartel using a different social media app to try and hire American citizens to participate in human smuggling. So this is the kind of thing that's going on Snap, on Instagram, on TikTok, where these cartels are recruiting American citizens to come be smugglers, offering them pay, giving them instructions. And once again, they are using these social media apps, these big tech platforms to do it. Let me just ask you, Mr. Stevens, have you encountered this? Have you seen the cartels trying to recruit Americans to participate in their smuggling operations?
Thank you for your question, sir. Yes, we have multiple cases involving human smuggling as well as drug smuggling where they use those social media platforms to be able to recruit drivers.
Wouldn't it be a help to you and your law enforcement activities to be able to turn off this kind of illegal activity on these platforms? In other words, to reduce the supply of American drivers who are willing to participate in a human smuggling ring?
Yes, it would, sir.
We need to do it. And the way to do it is to hold these social media companies accountable, to use your word, Mr. Perez, to allow victims to sue the social media companies for violating the law, for violating basic human decency, for lying constantly to their customers and the American people. I've already introduced legislation that's passed this committee unanimously to allow victims of child pornography to sue the platforms. And I can tell you the next step is to allow victims of human trafficking, victims of this kind of illegal trafficking in narcotics to sue the platforms. If we can do that, I think we can begin to make a dent in this tidal wave of fentanyl and other narcotics coming across our border, and I think we can begin to hold these social media companies accountable. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.